boom, are you moving to Thailand or thinking about it? These are 5 things that you must know, that you need to know if you're moving to Thailand. I'm going to break it all down for you. I decided I'm done with the corporate world and I'm out of here. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on packing my house up and all the things that I've been researching and doing to move to Thailand and to move around the world. I don't know where all I'm going, but Thailand's my first destination. I've got a friend there that's lived there for almost 15 years and I've been there myself. And so I am going to do this. And I know some of you are out there saying, screw this corporate rat race. It's so much cheaper to live over there. You can work hard like you love to work, but do things you love to do and just chill out and have some fun. So I'm going to dig into all this. Are you ready? Because I want you to move to Thailand with me. Here we go. If you're thinking about moving to Thailand for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or a long time, you need to know these 5 tips. And this is what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover how to find a place to stay. I'm going to cover transportation there so you know how to get around and stuff, because a lot of people are concerned about that. And then I'm going to cover visas, which one's right for you, which one's the best for you. I'm going to cover locations, like where in Thailand should you go. And I'm going to talk about the variations so you can kind of help you decide and give you some tips there. Because I've been all over Thailand and I know like the different areas and stuff. And then number 5 is pets. A lot of people are wondering about, can I take my pet with me? Can you get pets there? All that kind of stuff. And then I've got a bonus video. A bonus tip about budgets. A lot of people ask me, how much does it cost? Like, what's realistic? So I'm going to give you truth numbers, not this, you can live like a king for $500. This is not clickbait. I'm going to give you real numbers from my friend who's lived there for almost 15 years and from my research that backs that up. I've done tons and tons and tons of research, like, I love to do, just for you. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, how to find a place to stay. I'm moving to this new country. How do I find a place to stay? For me, I decided not to take anything with me except my bag. So I'm going to probably take like 2 checks, maybe just 1 check, and then a carry-on and a backpack like I normally travel. And this is because most places in Thailand are fully furnished. 99% of places you rent are fully furnished. Bed, couch, TV, everything. So you really don't need a lot to take with you unless you're really moving, like, indefinitely. Then I'll do a whole nother video on that, but that's not going to be this video. So this is how you start. You book a hotel for 1 week. You can use booking.com, Agoda, those are the 2 best ones that I use. Or you can go directly to the hotel websites. We stayed at Marriott in Bangkok. We stayed at a Marriott in Phuket. And then we stayed at a local hotel in Chiang Mai. And I use booking.com for Chiang Mai. So I love booking.com. I also have used Agoda a lot, but I also go directly, like with Marriott and Hilton, I go directly with them because I'm earning points with them and I have loyalty with them. So I'll put all the links down below to the hotels I recommend that I've stayed at that you can trust, and you can decide if it fits your budget or not. But 1 week, you want to be in a hotel. You want to land with all the jet lag and stuff and go to a hotel where there's services and people there to take care of you. Comfortable beds, comfortable showers, place to rest, and kind of just stay focused on your mission. Now, before you go, you're going to find a registered agent. And I'll put some options down below that you can reach. I'm still working on mine. But you want to find a registered agent because they don't charge you anything and they're going to help you find a place, whether it's a short-term rental or a 12-month lease, whatever your situation is. And we'll get into visas later. But they'll show you around. So in that week, you take 4 or 5 days and like 2 or 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, you go around Bangkok or you go around Phuket or wherever, and you start looking at places, because inevitably stuff on videos and pictures are not going to be the same. You want to be there physically in that space. You want to see that pool. You want to see that bedroom. You want to see that bathroom, because you're going to stay there and you're going to spend money. No matter if it's a little money or a lot of money, you want to see it, know that you're picking. Also, you want to know you're in the right location in the city, especially in Bangkok. So we'll talk about that as well. For short-term rentals, there's stuff called service apartments. So they're more like hotels. They have full services like maid service and room service and stuff like that. But they give you extended stay type rates. They're usually a little higher. So I would recommend like Airbnb, booking.com, or Agoda, or an agent. even for short-term rentals, like a month or two rental. If you go longer, 6 months, 12 months, you're going to find landlords that own condos and stuff that are going to give you leases for those. So you definitely want an agent. They'll help facilitate that and all the paperwork and everything. Remember, if you stay long-term, like if you do a 12-month lease, your rent is going to be cheaper per month than a short-term lease. That's because whoever's renting that, whether it's an Airbnb and a condo owner or whatever it might be, even a service apartment, they take on more risk, right? It's more expensive to them. If you stay longer, they know you're going to, be there. It's more security for them. They can take it off the market, stop marketing it, and all that kind of thing. The coolest thing about Thailand that's blowing my mind is you can stay in some luxury condos. I mean, in the sky, rooftop pools, beautiful gyms and co-working spaces, and even like movie theaters in some of these buildings with amazing views, amazing amenities. You're going to find the finishes are just high end. The bedding is going to be a lot better, more comfortable. The couches are going to be nicer, TV bigger, just things like that. And it's crazy because you can stay in some really, really nice places with, really nice places for just a little bit of money. I'm going to get into all that on the budget one, but trust me, it's pretty crazy cool. Now, if you go to a 2-bedroom, you're going to for some reason, that's a lot more. It's like double. And so if you need more, and also if you do a luxury condo, it's going to be small. It's going to be pretty tight. You're going to have a 1-bedroom, a living room and a kitchen. It's going to be like a really small apartment, but you're in Bangkok. You have this beautiful view and you can go down to the pool. You can go down and go do stuff. So you got to weigh that out. If you want a bigger space, if you're more comfortable with like, I need an office or I need a guest room so you can go to a less luxury place, still nice. I've looked at them; they're still nice, but they're less money and there's less amenities and stuff like that. Something else to note: if you're doing something directly with the landlord, like a 12-month lease, a 6-month lease, or even a short-term lease with an agent directly with the landlord, you will have to pay the electric, you have to pay the internet, you have to pay the water, and something a lot of people don't mention is you'll have to pay condo fees. These are like HOA fees. These are like fees for the amenities. And even some buildings won't even let you use the pool and the pool table and the kitchen, all the stuff, unless you pay a little extra for that. So you just need to ask your agent or ask the person about that. Now, if you book on booking.com or go to somewhere like that, all that's included in that price. You might see a little price hike. Like I'm looking at one and it's like a little bit more, like I think $200 more or $100 more. It's not a lot, but it covers everything. And so you just have to think about that. And then you have to think about, the maid being included. So she comes in and cleans once a week, or am I going to go hire someone to clean, or am I going to clean myself and go buy the cleaning materials stuff? Some of these luxury condos even have maids' quarters. So I'm telling you, that's expensive. Like I'll get into the budget later, but you can live pretty nice on a lot less money. When we get to the budget part, you're going to be like, what? I'm moving to Thailand. Bangkok, of course, is going to be more expensive. It's a big, huge city. So if you go to Chiang Mai, it's a smaller town in the mountains out in the jungle, you're going to get a lot cheaper housing, and it's still going to be super nice. I've looked at some places there that have beautiful rooftop pools and just amazing amenities and amazing finishes and setup in the condos. And it's like a lot cheaper, like $200 or $300 cheaper a month. And then you can also go in and rent a house or go into the old city and rent little, apartments there if you want to be more in the city center. Just a lot of variety there. The cost of living there is just a lot cheaper because it's a smaller town. The food's cheaper. Everything's cheaper there. But then you're not close to the beach. You're not close to a big airport. There's a lot of stuff you have to think about. And we're going to get into that in the location step. And then Phuket and Pattaya are even, they're cheaper too. Phuket's about the same, but Pattaya is definitely a lot cheaper. You can get like a 2-bedroom, really nice place for about the same price. You can get a 1-bedroom in Bangkok. And I mean, pretty nice. And you're right by the beach. Go scuba diving and take boats out to these breathtaking islands. We'll get there to the location tip. I'm getting ahead of myself. The downside is it's a smaller city. You don't have as much options like movie theaters, malls, food options, stuff like that. So again, you got to weigh everything out. For me, I'm planning on spending 1 to 2 months in Bangkok because I have my friend there that's lived there for a long time just to kind of get familiar. I've been to Bangkok. I kind of know the area I want to stay in or the areas that I'm going to look in. And so I'm going to probably spend at least a month, maybe a month and a half or 2 months there. Just kind of like, enjoy living in Thailand, like really being there, waking up every day, doing work, going, doing my thing, hanging out with my friends, meeting new friends, all the stuff. I don't drink, so I'm not a party person. I'm not going to do the like red light district. That's all there. I do warn you not to get caught up in that because that's not real life. But if you just live your life there like a normal person, do hard work, chill out at night, you're just going to have a much more relaxed, enjoyable life. The malls there are just out of this world. They're way better than here. Super, super nice. The food is amazing and super cheap. You can eat like a whole meal for like $1, $1.50. It is crazy. I'll get into that in the budget. But there's beautiful VIP theaters. And of course, you can spend as much money as you super expensive stores, super expensive restaurants. But, you have to care for your budget there and stuff. But just amazing things to do. And also, even in Chiang Mai or Phuket, there's stuff to do. It's just not the same as a big city because a big city has more to offer. We'll get into that in the location. But I just want to throw that out there if you're skipping through this video. Some of you do that, I know. My next step is probably going to be to Phuket or Pattaya for 1 month because I love to scuba dive and I love to be out on the boats. And I want a month to kind of just take off. I'm going to still work, but a couple of days, just go out for the whole day and just chill, go visit an island, swim in the ocean, scuba dive, stuff like that. So down there, it's a smaller, and quieter, more calmer pace of life, smaller town and stuff. You can just kind of chill, 3 or 4 weeks. So in Phuket, I'm looking at a service apartment kind of thing. It's kind of like a mixture of a hostel and a condo kind of thing. It's this brilliant thing that these people built. They've got 3 locations. It's called HOMA, HOMA. I don't know if that's centered, but HOMA. HOMA. And there's one like in the middle of Phuket, and then there's a couple near the beach, like by Penang Beach. And they range in different prices because, they're closer to the beach and one of them's like a little bit higher end stuff. But the coolest thing is they all have rooftop pools. They all have co-working spaces. They all have restaurants that you can room service. They have a maid that comes in once a week and cleans. It's a 1-bedroom, or you can do a studio, or you can do a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. Now they book out way in advance, and a lot of people stay there for long-term stays. But the coolest thing is you can just walk in and get a room for a night, or you can book on Agoda or Booking.com or directly with them, and you can stay a month or 2 months, and the pricing adjusts based on your length of stay. Super clean, super well done. I've seen videos, I've talked to other YouTubers that have stayed there. Just really appealing to me because it has everything, and it's just kind of all I can just pay for it online through Agoda or Booking.com with my Amex card and get those points. I can get the points through Rakatu, and I can just kind of lock it in and know I'm there and not have to deal with an agent or a lease or anything like that. And I've got a place for a month, and it's so cheap. It's $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, which is just crazy. That covers internet, that covers electric, that covers everything, maid service, everything. And you're just a grab away from the beach, from the city, from all the markets. Go to the Buddha. Have you seen the Buddha? The Buddha's crazy cool there. It sits on this high mountain. It's gigantic. It's just breathtaking views of the ocean, 360 degrees, breathtaking views of the ocean. And that's where the monks do their rituals. So you go in there and see all their rituals and stuff. But it's just an amazing masterpiece that they built there. So there's just cool stuff to go see. There's monkeys and elephants. In Chiang Mai, we went to this elephant reserve where they treat the elephants nice, and it's called Friends of Elephants. It was just so awesome. Okay, I know, I've talked a lot about that, but I know that's what you're interested in, right? Because you're like, where am I going to live? I can't stay in a hotel. That's way too expensive. Plus, I need a kitchen and stuff. So tip number two is transportation. A lot of people ask me this, especially friends and family, how are you going to get around? You love your car. Are you going to ride a motorcycle? Okay, so my friend lived there for a long, long time, almost 15 years. He's still there. and he just got a motorcycle like a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. And he took all the classes and he took all the stuff, and I rode with him, so I know he's super good at it. So I'm not sure when I'll get to that point, but there's Grab and there's Bolt. That's like Uber and Lyft. There's two rideshare apps there that you can get around. There's also the BTS, which is like a subway, but way, way nicer and way, way safer. So there's ways to like get around. The traffic there is pretty crazy, especially at rush hour times. So sometimes you just want to walk down to the BTS. Again, location of where you're staying. You want to be close to a BTS station. Get on that thing and go where you want to go. And there's all kinds of apps and websites that'll tell you like what to take, where to take, what to do. A lot of stuff's in English. A lot of stuff's in English. It will blow your mind. You're thinking, oh, I'm not going to know where to go. Almost every sign's in English. Almost everybody speaks English. It's really super easy. And use your Google Translate app. You can download it for free and download Thai language, and you can use that. And if you have your Google Pixel Buds, people can talk to you and it'll translate into your ear. Pretty cool feature. So yeah, so BTS, we did Grab a lot. We just prefer getting in a car. We rarely do taxis. And I'll tell you why. Taxis don't want to run their meters for foreigners, and they usually overcharge. And normally it's about the same as a Grab. And then Grab's going to be a nicer car. You pay online with your credit card through the app, so it's all like secure. A lot of taxis want cash. You got to carry cash, and then they don't have change. All this stuff. So we only took like 1 or 2 taxis when we had to. They also have tuk-tuks. These are like things like motorbikes with a thing on the back where you can climb into. They're pretty cool. They're usually pretty cheap. Around touristy attractions like the palace and temples, they're going to be really expensive, and you have to either take it or barter with them or walk a little ways away from it and get a Grab. Grabs don't normally come into those areas. I think it's like kind of like mafia, like it's somehow regulated where they can't, so you have to walk a little ways where they can get to you. If you're going to Phuket, again, the tuk-tuks or Grab, we did a lot of that. There is less traffic. There's still a lot near the beaches, but if you're in like the middle of Phuket or more on the East Coast, you could probably rent a car if you wanted to have a car and your place had a place for parking. A lot of condos and service apartments, even the HOMA I was talking about, give you a free parking space. So if you did have a car or a motorbike, if you're comfortable with the motorbike, be very careful there if you've never ridden one. It is super crazy there, and we've had a lot of friends or people that we know that travel in Bali and in Philippines and in Thailand get hurt pretty severely, like breaking stuff, because they just weren't respectful of how crazy it is there. You really need a lot of training and be cautious there. In Chiang Mai, that's more like a smaller town, or even Pattaya, or a Samui, you can get a car. You can rent a car pretty cheap, and that's if I go to Chiang Mai or Samui or Pattaya, I'm getting a car just so I can just drive around. I'm gonna be there for a month. I don't want to just constantly have to wait on a car to come. I can drive down to the theater. I can drive down to the beach to go diving, whatever, carry my equipment. So it's a little bit more relaxed. There's less traffic. It's easier to get around. It's easier to figure your way out with Google Maps. All that stuff, it's not going to be like a super like luxury Mercedes or something, but you can get a nice little sedan and negotiate a good price for the month, and it'll have air conditioning and stuff, and then you don't have to grab everywhere, But you can grab or even set up car services. There's nice car services. We took a car service for an hour over to the floating market, and the beautiful thing about that's different from a Grab is that he sat there and stayed there while we floated on the market twice. We bought some things and had some food, and then we got back in the car and he brought us back. A Grab would just drop you off, and then you got to hope that there's a Grab nearby or wait for a Grab. So anytime where we feel like we're out of control in that situation, we'll control the situation by doing that. And it's not that much more. It was very nice too. It was a Mercedes. It's pretty cheap there to get some pretty nice cars. If you're like going from Bangkok to Pattaya, which is like an hour or so, you can take a car service down there. You don't need to fly or anything. Phuket's like an hour flight, super cheap, like $50, $100. You can get down there. You get down there for on scooter, some AirAsia or something like that for $50 one way easily, maybe even like $30. Super cheap there. I'm going to do a lot of videos on the airlines there. They're so nice. Even budget airlines, they're so nice. The flight attendants are great. They even like helped us when we were running late because of some COVID stuff back in the day. They held the plane. We were economy. They held the plane so we could get on and stuff. Just super nice. Totally different over there. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do so. Cancel anytime. I'm going to be putting up tons of videos on how to move to Thailand, my experiences, where I go. I want you to come along with me, and I want you to move with me, okay? I want you to come over here and try it. And then I'm also got tons of travel videos like hacks, tips, international, domestic, anything travel related is going right here on this channel. And then I've got my main channel that's all more techie and car stuff that I like. So I just want you to be part of the Zackus Nation, you know? And you can always unsubscribe if you don't like the content, but it's going to be good. It's going to all be focused on helping you. And that is my goal here. This is a pretty big one, right? Everyone's asked me about this. It's a big deal. If you're not thinking about it, don't land in Thailand without thinking about it, okay? You need to think about your plan for your visa. Okay, there's so many different options here. Thailand's really awesome about this. So, of course, you have your tourist visa. If you're American, European, it's really easy. You get a 60-day tourist visa. You just need to ask for it when you land and you're getting your visa. Say, hey, I'd like to stay 60 days. And at the end of the 60 days, if you want to stay again, you can extend that for another 30 days. The beautiful thing is, from what I've heard from other people, is you can just go to Vietnam or Laos or fly down to Bali or Philippines for a day or two and come back pretty cheaply. And then you get re-entry, you get a new tourist visa. So it's just like a cycle. So there's a lot of different ways. But if you really plan on staying a long time, like you've been there a month or two and you're like, I love this, I'm going to stay. You want to go find a service that provides a lawyer and an agent. It's an agency. They provide the lawyer. They walk you through everything. They do all the paperwork for you. They know who to talk to. They know you. And normally it's about $250. So it's not a lot of money. And instead of trying to figure it out all yourself, do it. Now, if you're moving and you know you're going to stay there, you can do this beforehand. A lot of the visas do require like background checks and all this stuff, paperwork. So you can get all that and prepped. You know, you're going to need your passport, your driver's license, your background check, and sometimes your background check has to be like notarized, sealed, all this stuff. And you can order that pretty cheap from the FBI. I think it's like $30. But don't do that until you get. I recommend you go there, especially if you've never been there, and like just try it for 30, 60, 90 days. Try a little bit, like explore a little bit, and then when you're there, you can go and start dealing with it. You don't want to overstay your visa ever. So like after 60 days when you extend, go to the agency that day. So you have 30 days and start that process. So an exploration trip for 3 to 6 months, you should be good on a tourist visa. Just work with somebody there. They're very, very nice. Of course, they love that we work our Western jobs and bring that money into their economy. It helps them and is a blessing to them. And they're such nice people. And I would just throw this in here. I know this isn't part of visa, but be nice to them. Be respectful to them. Don't treat them bad. You're in their country. You're in their culture. Like try to fit in and try to like understand them. They're super nice people. It's called the Land of Smiles. If you want to get like a bank account, a long-term lease, like a 12-month lease, you know, your driver's license, stuff like that, you're going to need a longer visa and a different visa than a tourist visa. So they have this new one called Nomad, a Nomad visa. It's called the Destination Visa. And it gives you, it's a 5-year visa, but it gives you a year stay at a time in Thailand. So after a year, you kind of have to go and do some paperwork to stay longer. But I think you have to have like $15,000 in a bank account. You get to keep that money, but you put it in a Thai bank account. And that just like assures them that you have money to take care of yourself. And every 6 months, you have to check in and you have to have that $15,000 there. So as you spend it, you got to put it back, and then you're good for another 6 months. And trust me, it's fine. You're going to use it, or you're going to have it to pull back out and take back with you. No issues there. I've also heard with this Nomad visa, I haven't found a lot of proof of this. I don't really want to say this, but some people have said that you have to prove you make at least $80,000 a year. I just find that hard to believe, because the whole point of Nomad visa is for nomads, and a lot of nomads are younger people, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds just going to explore. They're starting out their YouTube channels, or starting out their Shopify's, or their digital world, or working remotely with their companies, and just, not making that much money yet. A lot of them end up making millions, but well, that's another video. But I don't know. Just, you might want to check into that. I've dug and dug and dug, and it's really hard to find all the details. Again, that's why I'm going to go to a lawyer. They just deal with everything. I've talked to one guy, and he said for like $1,000, $1,500, you can usually get anything done, like any visa, stay as long as you want. He's been there like 3 years. And my friend went with an education visa, and then he started a business, so he had a business visa. And of course, that leads me into the next one. You can get an education visa where you just sign up with an accredited educational company that does, like, teaches you Thai or teaches you whatever, and it works with the visa. It's accredited, and then you can stay there. Now, be sure with that one, a lot of those are defaulted to single entry. So you get there and you like go to Vietnam for a weekend to check out Vietnam and try to come back. Your visa is null and void. You want to make sure that it's a re-entry, a multi-entry visa, education visa. It's just a little checkbox you have to check on there. Just tell your lawyer or whatever, whoever's helping you, that you want it to be multi-re-entry, because it's a beautiful area. And there's Laos, there's Vietnam, there's the Indonesia, there's Philippines. You're like so close to so many things. You're going to want to eventually go explore things and see things and say you've been there. So don't get caught with this. If you're over 50, they have a retiree visa you can get. That's a long-term stay. If you're a millionaire, as long as you have $1 million or more, you can get what's called an elite visa. And I think it's like $30,000 every 5 years, or maybe a year, I don't know. But that gives you like a long-term, you're living in Thailand, you're investing in Thailand visa. There's long-term stay visas too that cost variation stuff and have different rules. So there's a host of ways to stay in Thailand. And of course, you may not want to stay in Thailand. You may want to go to BGC in Manila, or go to Bali in Indonesia, or Vietnam is becoming a really popular place. You may want to go to Lisbon or Barcelona. Croatia and Albania are becoming super popular places that are super cheap. You can live like a king. So there's a lot of options. But Thailand's what I chose after researching. And that's why I'm moving to Thailand. And I'm getting rid of all this corporate drama crap. I'm so sick of the political crap. These people are so immature. It blows my mind that these are adults who have had 20, 30-year careers that are acting like children. They can't make a decision. They spin constantly. They build all this drama. I don't like this person, gossiping about that person. I'm just sick of it. Like, I've gotten nowhere, really, and I'm ready to just go live my life. Like, life is too short. Are you with me? I think you're with me if you're watching this video. I bet you're with me. Comment below. I want to hear from you what your story is and what tips you have. Comment below if you have any questions too. I'm always in there, like, talking with you guys. I love it. All the links to anything I have mentioned in this video are going to be down in there, so you can check out the hotels and the places I've mentioned too. I want you guys, no affiliation. There's some of my links are affiliates, but very few of them, and I make a little tiny bit of money that supports the channel, which I'm always so grateful when you guys support me and give me like tips and super likes. And so many people have done things that have just blown my mind away. I'm just wowed by you guys. I love you guys so much. I'll just end this tip with the beauty of Thailand is the people are so nice and helpful. So don't be scared. You're going to find someone that's going to help you. You're going to get there. It's going to be great. Tip number 4 is location. Now, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. There's so much to see in Thailand, right? You got the north with like Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, that's near Laos, and in the jungles and in the mountains, and there's smaller towns with beautiful, deep, rich histories, gorgeous temples, and the culture is just thicker there because it's not a big city. There's still like traditional stuff going on there, but you also have amazing restaurants and markets and grocery stores and shopping, crazy cool things to see. You have the old town, you have the town outside. There's a lot of nomads there, so you have a lot of English stuff, coffee places, working places, and you can stay in like an old like house that's like, you know, still modern but nice, but an older house in the old town, or you can stay in a beautiful condo like you can in Bangkok with rooftop pools and amazing views and all the stuff that goes there. It's a lot cheaper to live there, food wise, housing, all that stuff. Someone told me from like February to like June or July, they burn the fields around Chiang Mai and it creates this smog. They say the pollution is so bad you can't even really go outside. A lot of people just go away to those times. So do your research there. I'm going to do mine. That's one thing. And it's not close to a beach. The airport's pretty nice, but not super big. They were super helpful there with us, though. Love that airport. Love the people there. So that's one location. Then you have Bangkok, like New York City on steroids. It's huge, it's big, but it's super safe, super affordable. It's like crazy amazing. But you do have all the traffic and the rush of all the people, all the energy. You know, it's not very common. If you like to go to parks and walk or run, you take your dog out, stuff like that, it's going to be more of a hassle. You're not just going to walk out and go walking. You have to go somewhere purposely and spend time in a park. And they have beautiful parks in Bangkok. I've been to a couple beautiful parks. So it's just enjoyable to walk around. And so you do have that there. You have a lot of green space there. But then you have Phuket or Pattaya or Phi Phi, islandy, you know, more tropical, beachy kind of places that maybe you love the beach. Maybe you're going to want to go to lay out every day, or you want to do sea doing, or you want to go on these beautiful boats. We went on a big catamaran boat that just took us out all day to these majestic movie type like islands. It was just amazing. They had food, they had drinks. We just listened to music and relaxed all day. So there's all that. And if you scuba dive or do any kind of adventure activity like that, there's tons of that there, tons of stuff to do. And then it's just more of a like beachy vibe town. At night comes alive. There's a lot of like partying. There's like night markets and stuff. There's tons of restaurants and great places. You can get Western places or Thai places. There's lots of variety. And you don't have to go to Penang Beach where it's like crazy party. There's tons of beaches that are much calmer, much more adult, especially down south or east. You're going to find more of that. And then, you know, there's beautiful beach villas if you have a budget for it. There's condos that look over the beach. And of course, I already mentioned HOMA, which doesn't look directly over the beach, but it's close enough. I don't need to be like right on the beach. I'm doing this on a budget. So I wanted just a nice place that's safe. And I also like that it's a hostel style where I can like meet people, other nomad travelers that I can like get to know and network with. That's a big advantage to me. Thailand is spoiled for choice. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. So what I recommend is go somewhere for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and then move. Go there for 2 to 4 weeks. That's what I'm going to do. I've already been to Phuket, Bangkok, and Chiang Mai, so I don't have to do as much of that. But if you've never been, that's what I recommend. Go for 2 or 4 weeks. Book on Agoda or Booking.com, or book directly if you want to. Whatever you want to do, and just try it. Live there for a little while. See if you find a favorite restaurant. See if you're meeting people. See if you like the vibe, because you don't want to go do a 12-month lease and hate the place. You moved all the way to Thailand. You want to love it, right? And a lot of people like Samui. It's a little bit more, I think, expensive. But if you have a bigger budget, go check it out. You can definitely have a car there. If you're a retiree and you have some money, you can get beautiful homes. There's one in Pattaya I just saw for 380,000 US dollars. That is just like, it would be probably 2 or 3 million here. I mean, beautiful kitchen, a whole service kitchen for like your staff. It has maid quarters, it has just breathtaking views, a garage for your cars, and you know, you're spoiled for choice. If you're wealthy or have some money or you have a retirement account, you can do all kinds of stuff. And it really just depends on what you want. Do you want a calmer life, a more small town, peaceful life? Do you want the rustle and bustle of a high rise and going down into the city every day? You know, that's why I wouldn't buy until you go there and try things. Go to places, stay there for a little while, and see if you like them. And then you're not like stuck, you know? That's my tip. One thing for sure about Bangkok specifically, and any of these cities, I mean, Phuket's pretty big. Chiang Mai is, big enough that you want to find the area of town you like. That's why I always recommend getting a hotel. Even in Chiang Mai, get a hotel for a couple of nights on Booking.com or something. Go check out things. If you're going to stay there a month, you're going to stay there 3 weeks before you commit to a place. In Phuket's big. Like, it took us an hour to go from the west to the east to go scuba diving from our Marriott hotel over to where we got on the boat, and an hour back. So, and it took us about an hour to get down to the Buddha and then back. And so you want to get a hotel somewhere. That's the beautiful thing about HOMA, is I can book a couple of nights there, see if I like it. I may want to move to another HOMA. So I'm going to just kind of take a couple of days, 3 days, and try it, and then find where I want to be for 3 or 4 weeks, and then go for it. And it's not forever. It's not for a year. 3 weeks later, I just moved to somewhere else. That's the beautiful part about this. And then eventually, a lot of people, if you do research, have found you want to eventually settle down. The moving around is cool. Oh, I've been here, I've been there, and I'm going to bring all that to you here on this channel. So hit that subscribe button. But I'm sorry, that was cheesy. But eventually you want to settle down and get into a routine, right? You want to find your rhythm. I want to go to the gym every day. I want to, go to Thai classes, or I want to shoot video, or I need to work, this. So back to Bangkok. I know I'm getting off course here, but Bangkok is huge. There's red light districts. There's touristy places. The red light districts are sometimes touristy. There's just better places. So I'm going to do a whole video on specific areas you want to look at that I've been to that are safer areas. Maybe you want to live a little bit outside of Bangkok. That's also an option. You'll get cheaper options, but you'll still be close enough to go into the city on a Grab or something, or BTS, get to things. These are things that you just want to make sure that you don't land into places every night partying, and you walk out of your room and they're you can walk down some streets and they're just constantly bugging you. I don't want to get into all that, but it's not good. So I'll do a separate video on that. So let's do tip number 5. Tip number 5. Okay, this is a big one. I didn't know if to put this in here or not, but it seems like a lot of people, especially when you're moving, they have pets. And so you're thinking that, can I take my dog? Can I take my cat? Can I take my rabbit? And of course, if you have a service animal, it's just not treated the same over international it is here in America. So this is the long and short of it. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I'm going to give you the highlights, because that way you can make a decision. That's what I'm here for. It's a hot topic. I've never moved with a dog. I've traveled with a dog, but not internationally. And so this is what I've learned from doing research, because I have someone who wants to come over and visit or move with me that has a dog, that wants to bring the dog with her. And so we had to do some research. So the first thing I found is in Europe and in Thailand and other places overseas, they have what's called a pet passport. So you want to get that. You want to get that before you leave. You want to start that process right away, because you have to submit all your documentation. So you have to make sure all the vaccines are up to date. All your documentation from your vet have to go there, a copy of them with that, your ID, all your information, right? And they're going to issue you what's called a pet passport for your dog, for your cat, for whatever. Now, if you have a big dog, that's a whole different story. But if you have a small dog and they can fly, you can take shorter flights and do connections, so you're not flying for 15 hours, because where do they go to the bathroom at? That's just kind of cruel, in my opinion, but I'll leave that up to you. But make sure that all the vaccines are done for that country, and you have records of it, and you have all their records. You want to take a physical copy and electronic copy with you. When you land there with that animal, you want to have all that with you. Your passport, all your records, all your vaccine shot records, all that stuff. Now, this is the tough part, is most of the time they're going to do a 30-day quarantine. Ouch. That hurts my heart thinking about, even though it's not my dog, just giving up a dog that I've spent time with for 30 days in a strange place. That's a tough one, but people have done it. And I have not found one story online where the dog was abused or died or anything like that. It's just a way for them to check and make sure the dog is good to go and doesn't have any diseases. I think there's ways around this. Not a fan of this. And I think probably there's a way to pay fees, or, if you know the right people, if you do an agency with a lawyer, maybe working out something there where you don't have to do the 30 days. But it is possible after the 30 days, you will get your dog, you'll better have them, and then they'll stay there until you leave, They'll be with you. Your dog will get a visa, and you'll be good to go. I would recommend only doing this if you've done your exploration trip, you know where you're going, where you want to go. You've done all your research. You've been there. You've seen things. You're like, okay, this is where I want to live. I want to live in Summit. I want to live in Thonglor. I want to live in Chiang Mai. I want to live in Phuket. Like, decide where you want to be, and then go back and bring the pet over. I know it's a little bit more expensive. I know it's a little bit more of a pain, but what if you get over there and you spend 30 days there and you're just like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I'm going back. Then you went through all of that trouble, put your animal, your pet through all that for nothing. So that's just my recommendation. Stay there 30 days, 180 days, 30 to 180 days, like a month to 6 months. See if you like it. Depending on your budget, like figure out your stuff and make sure that you're settled. And sure, I have a friend that's lived there for nearly 15 years, and he has 2 dogs that he got there, and he loves those dogs. But so you can get animals there if you want to. There's people that have pets, all kinds of pets, just like here. Again, depends on your budget. And so speaking about budgets, let's go into the bonus video. If you're still with me, I love you so much. I hope this is helping you out. I just wanted to do a video that talks about my journey, because maybe you're thinking about it or you're in the same journey. And I do tons and tons of research. That's what this channel is all about, is I do all the research and I try to bring it here simply for you to avoid having to do all that work and avoid mistakes and avoid pitfalls. So I hope this is helping you, and I hope you're super excited. And of course, let's get into why we're moving to Thailand, or at least a big reason. And it's about budget. It's about money. This is a question I get from a lot of my friends and family that I've been telling I'm going to do this. They're like, you're going to do what? You're going to do what? You're going to go where? You're going to go where? Okay. We got to get him checked out. Okay. But then when they settle down, they're like, okay, because I talk them through it. This is their biggest question. Like, how are you going to live? And I'm like, okay, let's break it down. Okay. Because everyone on YouTube is all over the place on this. Some people are like, you can live like a king for $500. And then other people are like, you got to spend $5,000. Talking to my friend that's lived there for almost 15 years, who has a pretty good idea on what his monthly expenses are. He's a businessman. He's super, budgeted. He's calculated. And then also I've done tons of research, just taking in data for cost of living and looking at places I really want to live. And not just you can live here for $400, but you wouldn't want to live there. Stuff like that. I wanted to find places I was feeling excited about, and I was going to live truly luxury for a little bit. And so this is the budget I figured out for me, that I can reasonably live in Bangkok in a really luxurious high-rise 1-bedroom with rooftop pools and amazing amenities and great location, and all my internet, my water, my electricity, the maid service, my grabs, my food, and then just shopping. If I want to go to the movies, or I want to buy clothes, or I want to buy a TV, or new headphones, or just like you do here. Amazon's there now too in Bangkok, which is kind of cool. So all of that, I have found that you can live on $1,500 to $2,500, depending on how luxury you go. And if you eat Western food, you go to the mall and eat a nice meal, you take your girlfriend out. I don't drink, but if you drink, that can bump the budget up because you're going out partying and drinking. Even though, from what I understand, alcohol is pretty cheap there, it just adds more expense. Coffee, groceries, tours, everything is max $2,500. If you spend $3,000 a month, you really are like living like a king. The only way you go up from there is like you go really luxury, like a baller. Like you're spending $3,000 a month on a 1 bedroom at like this crazy like high end place that you don't need. That's like more expensive than the States, because in the States you can get 2-3 bedroom for $3,000 a month. So not in New York or anything, but like in most areas of the country. So it depends on your budget and how much you make a month and how much you want to spend. So for me, I'm super excited to get everything and live like comfortably and have, I'm talking about like not caring what I spend. Like when I go to the mall, if I want to buy something, I buy it. Of course, I'm going to budget and watch my budget. I don't want to run out of money like 2 months in, but $2,500 should really give you good thing. And Phuket is about the same. You're going to spend about, you can live on $1,500, but if you get up to $2,500, you're really solid. $1,500 though is going to be pretty solid for you depending on what you spend and what you eat. $2,500 is the truth. $2,500 is the good point. 100,000 baht is about $2,800 depending on the day, and that is what my budget is. So I'm planning on being under that at $2,500, but giving me that buffer. But that's my budget, 100,000 baht a month. And so the average condo in a luxury place, a 1 bedroom, is going to run you 30 to 40,000 baht. So that's going to be almost 50% of your budget. Some of them are 50,000 baht because they're super nice. So that's about $1,500, $1,400. So it depends there on what your living class is that you want to reach and how much you want to give up of your money there. But then you have 60 to 50,000 baht for everything else. And remember, Grab and Bolt are super cheap. The BTS is like super, super cheap. You can get food there like for $2, $3, unless you go to like Icon Siam and you go to the top level where they have all these Western restaurants. You go to a really nice place, then you're going to spend $20, $30 a meal, maybe $40. So it's just like here. So it's really up to you. We went to one place, it was in the sky. It was this rooftop restaurant, and it was like $400 or $500 each, and it wasn't worth it either. By the way, the views were amazing, but we found out later we could do the views for free. Didn't have to eat at the restaurant, so whatever. But what I'm saying is, you can spend $10,000 a month there easily, but if you're going there on a budget and you're going there to like live comfortably but not overdo it, like not live, like the whole point of going over there is to like live comfortably without having to make so much money and spend so much money and go into debt and all this stuff. $2,500 is your sweet spot. 100,000 baht. I'll give you a disclaimer here. I know this video is long, but I promise you, I'm doing this for you. I want to just give you everything all my knowledge, because I know it's exciting for you, but you're also like, I got to figure this crap out. So my disclaimer here is this budget that I just gave you, $2,500, 100,000 baht, is if you have no other bills. Like if you're going to have bills back home, like a car note you're still paying off, or debt, or a house that you're having to pay for because you couldn't rent it, or whatever. If you have other bills, maybe you have child support, or you're taking care of your parents, or whatever it might be, that I'm not factoring in. So you have to take whatever that is and add it to the $2,500 to get your total monthly budget. For me, I'm going to have some stuff like that because I have a home that I'm going to Airbnb out. I have a car that is still in a lease, so I have to deal with that. And I help my family out some, so there's still some stuff. But that is my core budget for Thailand that I have to spend to live on is 100,000 baht, which is about $2,800, and I'm gonna try to be at 2,500. After a lot of research and actually being in Phuket and looking back at my budget there of what we spent while we were there, I've come up that it's about the same. It might be a little bit cheaper. You might get away with 2,000, but 1,500 to 2,500 is going to be your sweet spot depending on your living style. Whatever you prefer. Like some people are fine in a hostel, and some people want to stay in like nice hotels like me. I really don't want to stay in a hostel. But if you're a hostel type person, there's some nice hostels. Like I've stayed in a nice hostel in Bali. Um, you know, that's what's going to really make the difference of your budget, your living arrangements, your living class that you want to be in. Because the food and shopping and stuff like that, unless you just go to some big mall like Icon CM or Terminal 21 or Central World in Bangkok, and you just like are buying like PlayStations and TVs, Western world stuff, you're going to like be right back into a budget of the States. But as long as you're just like living your life and you brought your laptop with you, you might want to go buy a mic or a light or something, or clothes or whatever. This is a good budget for you to get a nice place. You're not going to get a place like looking out over the ocean that's 5 bedrooms, that's going to cost you $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month. But again, if you're making $20,000, $30,000 a month and you're a YouTuber, or, I'm not there, but there are some YouTubers that make a lot of money, or Shopify, drop shipping. Some people just make great salaries that are still remote, that can work from overseas. Whatever your situation is, everyone's in a different situation. Maybe you inherited money, maybe you have a retirement account, whatever. So your budget can change, but this is my budget, and I'm just telling you, I like nice stuff. You've seen the videos on here. You're going to see more videos if you hit that subscribe button. I stay in nice hotels. I stay in nice places. In Bali, we stayed in a 5-bedroom villa on the ocean. That's the kind of things I do. And I'm telling you that with knowing I'm going to live there a long time, still getting a really nice place, like the HOMA place I talked about earlier, is $1,000 a month. That's a really nice place. Rooftop pool, close to the ocean, but not ocean views. It's safe. It's guarded. It's got a restaurant. It's got restaurants around it. You can grab food, just like you do Uber Eats or DoorDash. They have Grab. So Grab is also a car service, but they also have food that you can grab food to you. And so you can grab food really cheap, like $2 or $3 a whole meal, a healthy meal. A lot healthier food over there. I always lose weight and feel better when I go overseas. So that's that. I'm just trying to give you all these details so you can understand like where my brain is and why I'm picking these numbers. So it's not just random. I'm really digging in because I want reality. I don't want to get over there and be like, that was a lie. I really need a double, This is coming from someone too who's lived there for almost 15 years, and he knows his budget, and he says I spend a lot. And after research, I can see that spending $100,000 baht a month is a lot. I mean, you can live like a king that way. Chiang Mai, if you want to live like a king, my budget there is $1,500 to $2,000. It's a lot cheaper. Cost of living is just a lot cheaper. Your housing and even food is even cheaper. You can rent a car, you can rent a bike there and drive safely there. It's not like crazy. You can still grab and bolt there. It's just a lower cost of living. It's a smaller town, easier to get around in and stuff. Not as many options, but you'll be very, very comfortable at 2,000. There's some people that are living at 1,000 or 600 even at really nice places, and they have gyms. They do their coffee every day. The girls do their nails and their pedicures and all their stuff, their facials. There's one guy who does a massage every day. The massages there, if you get the right place, are super, super good and super cheap. So, it's just up to who you are and what you like. Like at night, I just want to watch TV with some friends or go out on the weekend and like hang out and chill. And I want to work my job and I want to work on these videos for you guys and just enjoy life, meet people, go see a movie, just normal things. Like I've seen all the temples and the palaces and done the tuk-tuk tours, like, the food scene and stuff. So now I just want to go and just be there. But if you haven't done all that, I highly recommend it because it is super awesome. Here's a pro tip that I kind of found like by digging in that a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about moving to Thailand. If you're going to do a condo, especially like a 6-month lease, a 12-month lease, you're doing it directly with the landlord, you're doing it through an agent, the rent does not include electric, water, internet, but it also doesn't include condo fees. I've already mentioned this, but I want to mention it again. Things like the pool, amenities, just like any condo anywhere, it's like an HOA fee, there's a condo fee, and instead of it being included in the rent like it normally is here in America, it's a separate fee that you have to pay. And if you don't pay it, some condos don't make you pay it. You just don't have access to the pool, the gym, other things. So just factor that into your budget. Always ask your agent to disclose that and ask them what that is. If you go through booking.com or Airbnb or Agoda, that's all included. Everything, your electric, your water, all that is included. And don't be scared of that because, oh, I know that sounded scary. Electric, water, internet, super cheap. Super, super cheap. Most people are, for all three of those, are spending less than $100 a month. So, and the internet is fast. It's super great. Even running your AC all day, which some Thais don't do, but a lot of foreigners do because we're used to that. You'll have what's called air cons in your condo, usually one in your bedroom, one in the main room, like your living room, kitchen, and you can run those. If I'm going to be in there working or sleeping, it's running. Like if I go out, it's probably running because I don't want to come back and have to cool it down. Depends on how hot it is. In the summer, it gets really hot. If you're in more of the winter months, like November through like February or March, you might want to chill out a little bit and save some money there. But it's not that big a deal. Another pro tip here is if you do a lease with a service apartment or even some condos, especially apartments, they will try to build in the electric and they'll do an upcharge on it. So you'll pay like double or triple the rate that you would pay if you did it directly. So just be sure and ask them about that. Your agent should be able to negotiate that you pay the electric directly. And you can do that through an app or a 7-Eleven or something. There's lots of ways to pay that electric bill and your internet bill and all that stuff. It's super modern there. And I want a bank account just because they now have QR code scanners. Instead of having to carry your cards around, your debit card, you just scan it at everywhere. And you don't have to carry cash around. It's really cool. Anyways, that's another pro tip for you. And we already talked about transportation, but remember even grabs, food, even luxury grabs like Uber Black are cheap there, super cheap. So you're going to be able to get around. And there's great food. Like Chinatown has some amazing food that's super cheap. It's super good. There's all kinds of places. Do Google reviews. That's your friend. Look up places. See if it has really good reviews. See if they've only left 1 or 2 reviews or they've left a lot of reviews. If it's a new review or an old review. Just some tips there on how to find good places to eat and good hotels too. Okay guys, that's my 5 things. I know that was a long video, but I just wanted to give you these 5 things that you need to know. Are you moving to Thailand? Hit me up in the comments. I want to know if you're going or you're thinking about going. If you have questions, let me know. Let's go, baby. Let's do this. Okay, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited to just like do something different, do something radical, and just shake my life up. Like, it's time to do something different. This channel is all about traveling in style on a budget. It's about affordable luxury. I do tons of research, and a lot of my friends and family think I spend gobs of money or that I make a ton of money, and I don't. I'm not even close to wealthy. Broke is more like it. But I never go into debt, and I never just spend carelessly. I do like to stay in nice places. We do fly business class, but we search and do lots of research to find amazing deals. Even some people that fly all the time are just blown away by the prices we get for business class and some of the hotels we stay at. That's what this channel is about. I love to take all that research and knowledge and bring it here to you. I'm going to have travel plans. So if you're just going on vacation, you can download one of my travel plans, and it's going to give you day by day where to stay, what restaurants to go to, what to tour, where to go, how to get there. All the stuff is going to be taken care of for you. You just got to download it, book your flight, and go. No more like hoping you figure it out, frustrated, like, how do I get there? What time do I have to be there? What does it cost? I'm going to do all that work for you. And that's what this channel is about. That's what I love to do. I love to plan trips and find those deals and still travel in style and not like hostels trying to save money, but not going to debt, not put on a credit card, none of that crap. That's not what I'm about. So hit the subscribe button, become part of the Zacchus Nation. I've got the Zacchus Travel channel, all about travel, and my main channel is Zacchus. I love seeing your beautiful faces. It's so good to know that you come and watch this and that hopefully it helps you. I read through all the comments, and I just love hearing you guys say how much it helps you. That's why I do this. I don't make any money at it. It's a lot of work to put these videos together, but I do it because I want to help you. I want to help you avoid the things I'm doing, know the things I know, and just have an amazing trip or move to Thailand with me. I'll catch you in the next Zach's travel video. Peace. Peace out. Safe travels. I love you guys.